Anthony, LeBron comes back tonight, gives you guys 40 minutes, 29 points. What can you say about his return?
Solid return. He did what he did. I think he had a triple-double, right? So, I mean, he doing LeBron-type things. Expected nothing less from him. Efficient from the field. He did what he was supposed to do. He helped us for sure. So, missed him. He's a big part of our team with his voice, leadership, playmaking ability. He came back and showed it.
After giving up 71 points in the first half, what adjustments did you guys make defensively to kind of shut him down through the majority of the third and fourth quarters?
Play defense. We wasn't playing any type of defense. We wasn't physical. They were a more physical team. They were playing harder than us. And we had to stop doing that, digging ourselves a hole. But we were able to, Malik was able to, win that third quarter for us alone. And then we just fed off for him going to the fourth and then overtime. So we got to do a better job of not digging ourselves a hole, but we just took it upon ourselves to actually play some defense and cut some guys' water off and not give them a lot of open looks.
And 18 points from Malik in that third quarter. What did he do for you guys in terms of getting you back in the game?
Yeah, just like you said. Him alone, beat the Knicks in the third quarter. So he was able to get us going, get our juice going, get our rhythm offensively going, and it was able to help us carry that into the fourth quarter and overtime. Play with a little bit more swag on the offensive end.
AD, just thinking about after last game, the way that ended, how upset you were at the result of that. With LeBron coming back, does it just feel a little like there's a little more wind at your back when he's in the game and you guys are facing some of these situations in crunch time?
He definitely helps us in crunch time situations, late game situations, for sure. But I think even in that Clipper game, we executed phenomenally at the end, and tonight too as well. Guys fighting, guys competing, and I think the thing that almost cost us the game was our free throw shooting. We were terrible again, 17 for 28. So we got to just go to the gym and just shoot free throws the next 2 days. That's going to cost us games, and it almost cost us tonight. But it definitely helps having him, to come back and kind of lead the pack in the late game situations.
AD, how do you account for the way you guys started in that first half? And we've talked so much about you guys having your backs against the wall a little bit and the need for wins. You got there, obviously, but how do you account for that first half? And then what was halftime like when you guys came in after that?
We just dig ourselves a hole too much, like transition. We came out and they got 3 quick threes, and all of them was in transition. Not communicating, not stopping the ball, and now they find the right guy and they're making shots. And that was kind of like the entire first quarter. It wasn't physical. They were getting whatever they want. Everything was easy. We were playing with no physicality, no force whatsoever. And then at halftime, second quarter we kind of fixed it. And at halftime, we played great in that second quarter, cut the lead down to 15, and said stay with it. Now let's play some defense. We play defense. We get everything we want on the offensive end. And that's what we did in the third quarter. Holding the team to 13 points was phenomenal. And so we just wanted to come out and just play with a little sense of urgency on the defensive end.
AD, the championship that you helped the Lakers win in 2020 put a stamp on the talent that was so obvious that you possessed. But then the last year and a half, some of the same critiques of your game have popped up from whatever, the media, whatever you want to call it, fans. And this time when you were out, the 17 games, did you put yourself in a place to, like, I need to get back to that guy I was in Orlando?
I was about to say Orlando. That's the bubble. Yes and no. Obviously, I knew, even though the numbers was kind of there, I didn't feel like myself. Wasn't helping the team, as much as I could have to win basketball games early in the year. And I take ownership of that. And when the knee injury happened, I was able to step away from the game and just evaluate myself. Not looking at other guys and what they could be doing. Looking at myself in the mirror and see how I could be better. And I just took that upon myself to have that mindset of being that 80 that they wanted to bring here. Playing with energy, playing with effort, offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, energy on the defensive end, and it's kind of what I just took upon myself to do, since the return. And no matter who we're playing, I have to be that for our team, and that's what I've been as of late. And you see our games have been different, knowing that they feed off me, especially on the defensive end, energy, effort. And so I try to bring that every game for our guys, and hopefully each night can result in a win.
AD, you haven't spent a ton of time on the court with Russ to this point of the season, but I'm curious, how do you pick him up after a night like this? Not playing in overtime, boos from the fans, some hesitation and some shots. Well, how do you personally approach kind of your job as a leader with a guy who's accomplished obviously a lot in this league, and Russ?
Well, I'm just staying in his ear. It can be frustrating. The fans obviously want to see him play better. But, one thing you can't do is put too much pressure on yourself. You got to go out there and play freely. With some shots tonight that he usually take in rhythm, and he kind of passed up or hesitated. And me and LB was just telling him, like, we don't care if you miss everyone, just play. Shoot your rhythm shots, don't hesitate. And obviously it's easier said than done just because, when you're in it, you don't want to be missing shots. I mean, he doesn't try to miss. And a lot of shots he take, are shots that he can make. But he gotta stay out his own head. He just gotta continue to play and do the little things. When I was going through the whole little thing where I wasn't playing well, I tried to always do the little things, for our team, the intangibles, and they kind of get you going, get you in a rhythm, and that's what he has to do. He has to, you got 2 days to kind of just get away and just, try to lock back in, come Milwaukee. But, as a leader of the team, me, Brian, we try to, just continue to talk to him and just make sure that, he's not in his own head and putting a lot of pressure on himself.
Last question,
AD, Trevor had been struggling and falling out of the rotation, and now with Melo out, he plays 35 minutes tonight, closes the game. What did he give you guys, and how do you kind of see him fitting in alongside you and LeBron?
3-and-D. I mean, he's able to shoot the three ball. He's great defensively. He plays hard, make the right plays. He's been great the last couple games. With 7 out, he came in and stepped up in the Clipper game and then stepped up tonight. Played big minutes. So I think that's the most minutes he played all season. And he played well for us. So it's a tough call for Coach when Melo comes back. But I'm pretty sure the way he's been playing for us, I mean, we got to continue to play him. But he definitely can help us when he's on the floor. But he's a true professional. Like you say, in and out of the lineup. Some games he don't play, and then he gets thrown in randomly, and he's ready to go at all times. So, commend him for that, for his continuous work behind the scenes and staying ready.
Lakers are LeBron, the numbers speak for themselves, but how did you feel tonight?
After the first quarter, I kind of, the knee loosened up a lot more. My mind loosened up a lot more. And I was able just to play basketball, but just excited to be back in the uniform, back on the floor with my guys. Missed them, missed the game, and happy I was there to make a few plays that helped us win the ball game.
In your 5 games out, Anthony Davis has returned and been putting up numbers that have people calling him, bubble AD. What have you seen as you've watched from the sidelines?
The time that he missed brought back the hunger, and it's literally that simple.
LeBron, we've spent a lot of time, well, I guess when the limited games that you guys have all been together, about trying to figure out fit and getting everybody kind of together. What's the message to a guy like Russ after a night like tonight? Boos from the crowd, tough night shooting, ends the game on the bench. What's the message to him?
I just told him to text me later. I told him to keep going. I told him to stop second-guessing himself during the game. There's a couple times where he had good looks, second-guessed himself. A couple times where he had some drives. He had the drives to second-guess himself. He's an instinctive player, and he should never, what he's done in his league, he should never second-guess himself. If you put the work in, he's put the work in. So, I just told him to just hit me later. And, I don't need to harp on what we need to say to him. I mean, he's a big-time player, and, I have the utmost confidence in his ability, not only for this team, but for himself individually.
LeBron, when you were warming up before the game, were you already pretty sure that you were going to play tonight, or was there something you were trying to see how the knee was responding before you got out there?
No, I didn't feel that great in my pregame warm-up, to be honest. But I didn't feel as bad as the last warm-up that I had in Charlotte. The last time I tried to do something on the floor, that was the last time I actually did anything on the court. I didn't feel worse than that day. So just gave it a shot, see what happens. And we saw what happened.
LeBron, how is Malik taking advantage of kind of the opportunity that's been presented kind of with the circumstances of this season, and then where does he fit in kind of on of the guys you need to get to where you want to go this year? It seems like he's really emerged as one of the most important pieces of this puzzle.
He's taking full advantage of this opportunity. I mean, obviously, and every game he gets more and more comfortable. He understands his ability and what he brings to this team. He brings a knockout punch that, to be completely honest, we haven't had on our roster since I got here. Someone that can literally, if he makes one, it could be 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row, and it comes in bunches. And he's a big time scorer, but I think what's very underrated about his game is also a great playmaker as well. With the ball in his hands, he doesn't make many mistakes, and is always in control. So he's going to be very key to what we hope to do, going on the stretch and for the rest of the season.
You might get a call from JR about that.
Yeah, Swish is one of those guys too. I agree. Yeah, Swish is definitely one of those guys who, he did it in Game 7 in the finals too, where he came in and hit 3 straight big-time buckets that we needed after being down at halftime. So Swish is definitely on that list.
So I got a question for you. In the time you were out, Tom Brady retired, and publicly we've seen you guys both motivate one another. Who knows what the relationship's like privately, but I'm curious if his retirement struck you in any sort of different way, considering you were out with an injury, and if it made you think about, like, hey, I still get a chance to return.
I personally was just so in shock when I saw it. I was one of the ones that didn't say anything when the first initial announcement came out. I didn't retweet anything. I didn't say anything because I wanted to make sure I heard it from him. And then when he came out with his announcement, I was like, it's a guy who's kind of just been kind of my motivation factor over the last few years. Seeing what he's able to do at his age, and always, kind of being a leader of a team, and even at his age, people still gravitate towards him and gravitate, his energy and how he prepares and things of that nature. So, a small piece of me was definitely left when Brady decided to retire. That's for sure. Say that again?
Did you have any extra gratitude, the fact that you would be able to come back and you'd be playing more?
Yeah, but I don't think it was a correlation. It wasn't anything that was, side to side. I listened to the man gave us 22 great years. And obviously the numbers speak for itself, the championship speaks for itself. But I just think the way when he got that starting job in New England, from the time he was a starter, the way he just carried himself as a professional, day in and day out, committing to the game was something that's just it's a remarkable thing, and something I've always looked up to and respected.
Trevor stepped up the last couple games with Melo out. He played a season high 35 minutes tonight, closed the game. What has he given you guys these past couple of games, and what's kind of clicking for him since he had been out of the rotation?
One, he's given us length. Sometimes we play a lot of lineups where we have a lot of smaller guards. So it's at times challenging to rebound, and we have some difficulties rebounding at times. But with TA, in his 35 minutes he had 8 rebounds, and defensively he's always been great. I thought he did a heck of a number on Julius. I thought Julius was great tonight, but he kept his body in front of him, made him take tough shots. When he made tough shots, he still had a hand up, in his face. And then you have to respect him on the other end because of his ability to knock down shots, and he gives us space at his 6'9" frame. So the more minutes that he gets, I feel like the more and more comfortable that he gets. We're a little older in age, so the more minutes that he gets, and it allows him to feel a rhythm. And when the ball touches his hands, he feels in a good rhythm. And I was happy for him. And I told him, I was extremely happy I was able to make that pass to him late in the game when he was knocked down that 3. Just told him I trust him, and that's why I threw it to him.
LeBron, R.J. Barrett spent time guarding you tonight, and he had a career-high 36. I know you follow the league closely. I'm curious what your impressions are of him as a young player, especially after going.
He started the game off. I think he had 17 in the first quarter, if I'm not mistaken. And he had some big-time shots down the stretch. Obviously, the 3 to tie it at 111, but the full court, the dunk and transition. And he just hit key shot after key shot tonight. I've been knowing RJ for quite a while now. I was in Toronto during the summertime. I think he was a high school junior or a senior, and it was called to my agent, Rich. Well, he wasn't my agent at the time, but that there was a kid in Toronto that is possibly next, and it was off season. I was in Toronto, just having a good time in Toronto. But I was going to the gym to get some work in, and they called Rich and asked could he join, and I was like, absolutely. So I've been knowing him for quite a while, and I followed him, throughout those last few years of high school, and obviously off to Duke, and now as a Knick. So, he's young, so he's gonna have, you're gonna have your, bumps and bruises throughout your course of your career. While you're young, you're figuring out the game, you're figuring out the speed, you're figuring out the tempo and things of that nature. But, I think he's handled it extremely well, especially, being it's a different light and a different heat when you play for the Knicks, and I think he's handled it extremely well. Appreciate it.